Imagine a world where giant mammoths still roamed, where humans survived by hunting and gathering, and where vast sheets of ice had only just begun to retreat. This was Earth around 12,000 BCE, at the end of the last ice age. In today's video, we'll travel back in time to see how the planet looked, how people lived, and how this moment shaped the future of human civilization. The Ice Age, or more precisely the last glacial maximum, had covered huge parts of North America, Europe, and Asia with massive glaciers. By 12,000 BCE, the climate began to warm. These enormous ice sheets slowly melted, raising sea levels by over 100 meters in just a few thousand years. This transformation reshaped coastlines. Areas that were once dry land became submerged. For example, Doggerland, which connected Britain to mainland Europe, was still walkable in 12,000 BCE. Humans and animals could cross it freely. But within a few thousand years, it disappeared beneath the North Sea. The world was warming, but it wasn't smooth. Sudden cold spells, like the Younger Dryas, plunged regions back into freezing conditions. This unstable climate forced humans to adapt constantly. They followed migrating herds, gathered wild plants, and learned to use every resource nature gave them. Earth's landscapes were filled with giant animals known as megafauna. Woolly mammoths, saber-toothed cats, giant ground sloths, and mastodons all lived alongside humans. But as the climate warmed and humans hunted more effectively, many of these species went extinct. This loss of megafauna forever changed human diets and forced early people to experiment with new food sources, laying the foundation for farming. At this time, humans were still living in small, mobile groups. They hunted, fished, and gathered fruits, nuts, and grains. In the Middle East, wild wheat and barley grew naturally. People began harvesting these plants, unknowingly taking the first steps toward agriculture. In the Americas, Clovis hunters tracked mammoths and bison across the plains. In Europe, reindeer and elk were common prey. Cave art from this period, like those in Lascaux, show us how people saw their world. In Asia, people along rivers like the Yellow and Yangtze collected wild rice and fished. Though scattered across continents, humans everywhere were facing the same challenge: how to survive as the old Ice Age world vanished. For thousands of years, humans had lived as nomads, but by 12,000 BCE, some groups began to settle. Sites like Göbekli Tepe in modern Turkey suggest that people were gathering in larger numbers for rituals and community life. These gatherings were a stepping stone to permanent villages and eventually cities. One of the most dramatic changes was the flooding of coastlines. As glaciers melted, oceans swallowed vast stretches of land. Entire habitats disappeared, pushing people inland or forcing them to adapt to new environments. Some legends of ancient floods may have roots in this real prehistoric experience. Life in 12,000 BCE was both harsh and beautiful. Nights were lit by firelight, food was never guaranteed, and danger was everywhere, from wild animals to freezing winters. Yet this was also a time of creativity. People painted caves, carved figurines, and developed early spiritual beliefs. The seeds of culture and civilization were already growing. So, what did the world look like after the Ice Age? It was a planet in transition. Warming seas, shrinking glaciers, disappearing giants, and humans standing at the edge of a revolution. Within just a few thousand years, farming, villages, and the first cities would emerge, forever changing human history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. History isn't just about kings and empires. It's about the everyday people who survived, adapted, and created the world we live in today.